I think we are recording today, just so we can look back and kind of go over everything. And I think we might try to do this in the future, going forward. I hope everybody had an awesome Thanksgiving. I know I did. I had 2 back to back, so I'm still full from all the food. Today we're going to do it just a little bit different. When we give our introductions, we're going to go ahead and do our name, our organization, or affiliation, and then any updates or upcoming events or announcements that you may have. I think we're going to go ahead and do that at the beginning. So I'll go ahead and go first. I am Frankie Ward. I'm the recovery specialist with Ford County ROSC, and I'll give our updates actually later. But Carrie.
Good morning, everyone. Carrie Knapp, Associate Director of Community Health with Chestnut Health Systems. So I help the Ford County ROSC. One update that I have is actually in regards to another project that I oversee, and that is our Center for Community Engagement project with Chestnut Health Systems. One exciting thing that we have been working on is we have just launched our Faith and Recovery initiative throughout the state of Illinois. So what that looks like is our team is working with various faith-based communities to get them certified to be a recovery congregation, if you will. So if that's something that you are interested in or know of anyone in your communities that you work directly with or help support that would maybe want to learn more about that process, I'm more than happy to put my contact information in the chat. But as of right now, we're trying to get the word out as much as possible. So that's my one update for today.
Awesome. Thank you, Carrie. Barb?
Hi, I am Barb Brumlevy, and I'm a community health specialist at Chestnut Health Systems, supporting the Ford ROSC, and also I work on the McLean County ROSC. Thanks.
Thanks, Barb. John?
Hi, my name is John Schneider. I am a recovery specialist at Livingston County ROSC through Chestnut Health Systems. I'm a Ford County resident. Updates for Livingston County. Currently, we're involved in the toy drive with Salvation Army. We are in the process of reorganizing our education subcommittee for Livingston County ROSC and getting prepared for 2024, which is closer than I think I'm ready to admit. So that's what I have for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. We'll go to Cammie Garrison.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cammie Garrison. I'm the Region 3 statewide ROSC technical assistant. And I've now been here 1 month, and I am still learning and getting to know everybody and enjoying it. And I don't have any updates. Thank you.
Thank you, Cammie. Jimmy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jimmy Bonavolanto. I work in community and clinical relations for Chestnut Health Systems. Although I'm not new to Chestnut, I am new to this role. So my update would be that I'm here. You may see my name and face on a couple of these meetings, and I'm really looking forward to connecting with people in various roles and everything, and try and figure out how I can integrate myself to get people connected to care. So nice to meet you all. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jimmy. We'll go to Dave.
Dave King, Community Outreach Manager for Carl Health.
Dave. Tia.
Tia Shum, Pike County Mental Health Center, ROSC Coordinator. We're just working on getting stuff together for all the parades we're going to be in the upcoming days, as well as our family events on the 9th. So that's it from here.
Thank you. We'll go to Carrie.
Hi, Carrie McKenzie. I'm with Gateway Foundation. Some upcoming things we have going on is, I'm not sure if you're aware, I know Sandra Beecher usually jumps on this call as well. So I'll be covering Piatt County and also Ford County. So just helping her out. And we will be opening in Bloomington. So I'm not sure if you guys were aware of that. So I'll have more information to come. We will be opening up services at the first of the year.
Thank you, Carrie. Leanne.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Leanne Corson. I am the Region 3 ROSC mentor. Just grateful to be here with everyone this morning.
Thank you, Leanne. Diamond. Okay. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I did get an email about if the meeting was canceled, so hopefully everybody else is getting my email. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started then. Today we're just gonna go over a review of all of these documents that we've turned in recently, our strategic plan, all of that good stuff. Just a quick kind of recap, just so we can share with all the work that we've been doing and our plans moving forward. The first thing that I did want to, that we're going to go over, and you can follow along if you would like to. This is just kind of like an overview of the document. It's like the gap analysis, but on each of these slides, there's going to be a QR code, and that'll bring you to the Ford County Virtual Resource Guide and all of these documents on there. So if you want to follow along now or take time later to go through them, they're all on there and they're labeled just as they are on here. But we began with a gap analysis of Ford County. Like I said, this is kind of just an overview of a more in-depth document. But a lot of these, I think that we can all agree are gaps within Ford County and kind of throughout rural communities in general. We have recovery housing. We would love to be with at least one recovery home here in Ford County. Right now, we don't have any. The next kind of huge gap is transportation. While we do have transportation services, we have very little here in Ford County. They're not available throughout the day, and they're very, just very minimal. So we would love to expand on our transportation services. Another big gap, and this one is one that really goes more into detail and like separates the access to resources. We do have support groups or peer support groups here in Ford County, but what we would love to have more diverse meeting dates and times. So just an increase of the meeting offerings that we already do have. Some of them fall on the same day. So we would just love to have eventually one at least 5 days a week or something. We have no inpatient recovery treatment centers and limited outpatient. And we think the best way to kind of address that gap would be to have the expansion of our transportation services. I think bringing in an inpatient facility here is a massive goal. So just being able to expand on our transportation, we think would be one of the best target states to be in. And then another thing is, I should say limited harm reduction services. While we do have some here, we would love to expand on what we currently have. And then in that document that you can go look at, it has kind of where we'd want to start and goes more into depth on that. We would love to start probably smaller here in Ford County, just to kind of get the ball rolling a little bit, possibly with Narcan cabinets throughout the county and things like that, maybe fentanyl test strips. So that is something that we are going to hopefully work towards bringing to Ford County. And then a huge thing is stigma. And we think by addressing stigma, it'll open the door to bringing other services in and filling some of these other gaps. For instance, recovery housing, harm reduction services, and things like that. So we would love for there to be a supportive, collaborative community with an understanding of substance use and mental health challenges overall, as well as acceptance of multiple paths to recovery. I think there's a stigma and just an overall, we just don't understand what we don't know. So by addressing these things, I think it'll open the door, like I said, to bringing in further resources and make it a little bit easier on us to fill in those gaps. The next thing that we did, and again, if you want to scan that QR code, the full document is there. We did a resource mapping and asset mapping. Resource mapping we've done since we kind of began the ROSC Council. The asset mapping was a new one this year, and it took me a minute to wrap my head around what is the difference between these two documents. So I kind of just figured it out because they said it's every county is different. So we just kind of took it onto how we understood it. So I understood it as the resource mapping is resources in and around Ford County that it's just a resource to us. For instance, inpatient treatment centers. We don't have that here, but it's still, we have resources and surrounding us. So that is what I took the resource mapping to be. And that document is on the virtual resource guide. And then the asset mapping, I just kind of looked at what is specifically here in Ford County. This is just a picture of the asset map, but there's also a document that goes along with this. And hopefully every year we can add more and more assets onto this map. So that's the asset mapping. I hope that makes sense how I explain the difference. The next thing, the two documents are community outreach plan and communication plan. Basically what we did was took a look at kind of some sectors or stakeholders or just individuals that we think are still kind of missing at the table, and who they are and how can we outreach to them to get them involved. Again, these are two more in-depth documents. If you scan that QR code, that is there as well. And then our strategic plan. This one is kind of my favorite document, I guess, to do because it's really organizing and planning what we're going to do with the ROSC. The three main goals that we've had since the beginning are there still. We just kind of went in and edited, see what we've done, and see what we haven't done and what we need to continue to do. So we have developed recovery support, increase access to services and resources, and inform and engage the community to increase awareness and reduce stigma around substance use and mental health challenges. Again, this is obviously a lot more than just three goals. If you scan that QR code, the objectives and all of that are really go into depth on that document. But today I wanted to talk about that last goal, which is inform and engage the community to increase awareness, reduce stigma around substance use and mental health challenges. One of the things that we do really want to start doing with ROSC is being inclusive. So including mental health more into what we do. Also, we're talking about substance use challenges instead of substance use disorder. This is something that I'm currently learning as I go. But some people haven't been diagnosed with a disorder. I was diagnosed with opioid use disorder, and some people aren't. And that doesn't mean that they aren't struggling or haven't struggled as well. So we want to be more inclusive to just substance use challenges and mental health challenges. And I hope that makes sense. But this is a huge goal that I want to focus on this year. And this has been on the strategic plan since the beginning, is creating a public awareness campaign to reduce stigma. Like I said earlier, I feel that one of the biggest ways to address all of these gaps and needs in Ford County is to work towards reducing stigma and creating an awareness. So this is what I really want to focus on and talk about a little bit more in depth today. When we also first began the ROSC Council here in Ford County, we had an outreach subcommittee. Well, it was a great subcommittee. If you haven't noticed, we kind of disbanded that for now. I felt like I was kind of leading it with no direction, and I didn't like to have a meeting just to have a meeting. So I wanted to have a goal when beginning a subcommittee or a work group. So with that being said, I'm going to restart a subcommittee, or I'm going to call it a work group. And this is going to be to develop and promote this public awareness campaign. So our sole focus is going to be this campaign. I do have a QR code there, and this is just a sign up genius. If you would love to be a part, and I would love for you guys to be a part of it in creating this, developing the campaign narrative, getting information and tools that we can use to build it. Right now, we're kind of talking about looking at different ways that we could possibly measure stigma, and that could be something that we could do within this work group, and then just distribution and all of that. So I think that this is going to be a super fun work group to be a part of. And I love anything creative and things like that. So if you ever would want to be a part of this work group or subcommittee, that's how you sign up, is that QR code, or just reach out to me. And then once we get kind of a core group of people, we can work on times of meetings and things like that. I'm not even going to even try to plan that yet. So is there any questions when it comes to anything that I've gone through so far? Gap analysis, the work group, strategic plan, any questions, comments? Okay, sometimes I talk fast. If I'm getting ahead of myself, please, please let me know. Okay, well, if there's no questions right now, and again, feel free to go ahead and go back and look at all of these documents on the virtual resource guide. I'm going to send it along with the minutes too, the link to that. Or if you guys want to sign up for this awesome work group, please feel free to reach out as well. It's going to be fun. Planning something that's super important in Ford County. So switching gears, I'm going to go ahead and talk about something fun that we're planning right now. We know, I'm sure most of us know that holiday or just family photos professionally done are pretty expensive. And a lot of people miss out on the opportunity to get professional family photos done. I'm fortunate enough to have family members that do this, but I have paid for them in the past and it's a lot. So we want to be able to provide this awesome memory to, we're going to be able to do for 20 families here in Ford County. We had a photographer donate her time. Her name is Natalie Barnett. She's with Nerdy Bird Photography. She's super awesome. She has a Facebook page if you want to check out her work, but she's going to donate her time. Ford ROSC is going to be covering the prints for people so they can have their photos. We're going to hopefully have holiday treats. This is to be determined. With the ROSC grant, we can't buy any food or beverages. Some of us know that on here. So we're possibly going to work with a local recovery group, but I don't want to say the name yet. I don't know until it's okay. I can, John? Yeah, okay. Celebrate Recovery is working to hopefully help us out with our treats, which is awesome. We're going to have crafts and activities for individuals who are kind of waiting for their photo. And then we're also going to have community resources there, just information. So if there's any information that you would like to have at this event for us to provide for families, just send it my way and we'll make sure to have it there that day. This is going to be Thursday, December 14th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. And the Methodist Church here in Gibson City is going to donate their building for us to use that day. So we're really excited about that. And also the way that we're kind of not promoting it is kind of by invitation. So I'm reaching out to different churches, schools, food pantries, just to get a handful of people, hopefully from each of these contacts for families that they think would benefit from doing this. So if you guys have a family in mind that you think would benefit from or would love to have their family photo done and usually wouldn't be able to, especially this time of the year with Christmas and holidays and groceries and all of that stuff, please just send them my way. I do have a flyer, but again, I don't think that we're going to put that out to ask that way because we only have a certain amount of space for these families. So any questions on this event? Okay. Awesome. Okay, and then this is something that we have upcoming. I'm going to pass it over to Carrie to explain this and give more information about the ROSC 101 binders.
Awesome. Thank you, Frankie. So again, this is something that our team just identified as a need amongst all of our community-based ROSC councils. So we are in the process of developing what's considered to be ROSC 101 binders, right? So you can kind of almost look at it as like an orientation binder, if you will. So our team right now is working together to put various documentation into these binders to hand to current ROSC council members, but also new ROSC council members. We recognize that the concept of ROSC can be a little difficult to explain at times. And so we're trying to simplify that down for our ROSC council members. So as you are out in the community engaging with folks, trying to recruit them for the ROSC and just really explain what ROSC is about, hopefully some of the documentation within this binder will help you in that process. In addition to that, we'll also be providing things like our one-pager, our brochure, our virtual resource guide information, but also taking a look at a talent or a skills assessment for all of our ROSC Council members. So again, as Frankie mentioned, we really appreciate just your involvement in these monthly meetings, but we also recognize your involvement can go past just attending a monthly meeting too. So things like the subcommittee or the work group that Frankie just mentioned, that skills or that talent assessment will help our team understand what are you passionate about? What are some of the skills and talents that you can bring to help move forward some of the work of this ROSC Council? So it'll just be our way to engage back with you and get you involved in new ways with the ROSC Council. Hopefully we will have this information wrapped up here shortly and start to distribute some of these binders before the end of the calendar year.
Awesome. Thank you, Carrie. Oh, wrong button. Gosh. Okay, a few other updates that we have. And I think I saw Abby pop on here. Just some updates, just ROSC updates. The Butterfly Project, their next meeting, and I'll let Abby share in a minute if she wants to. She wasn't on here, I think, when we gave updates. We'll be sharing at the Butterfly Project's next meeting. This is December 11th at noon. Possibly Gibson City Chamber meeting in January. As of now, we'll be there sharing, but I want to just make sure. And then another thing is our virtual resource cards, which we've shared, I think, every month since we've kind of created these. These are just, again, virtual resource guides for Ford County. We have them in business card form. So I would love to just, for everybody to have these, to be able to hand out to individuals. And so if you're interested in getting some of these, I have a bunch and I can deliver them to you. So please reach out if you guys are interested in getting these cards. Our next meeting is going to be on a different day. I'm gonna go back and make sure I canceled the meeting. Like I don't know if you guys were on here earlier on accident this morning. But anyways, so our next meeting is going to be a week early due to the date is after Christmas Day this year. So we're rescheduling it. It's the same time, same link, all of that. It's just a week early. And here is our contact information. If you have any questions, any way that you think or can think of that we can support you guys in your organizations or anything like that, any events or anything, please reach out. We want to be able to help you guys just as you guys are here and being a part of ROSC. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. And just one more time, see if there's any updates or anything that you thought of later, or if you weren't on here when we began. Any announcements or updates within your organization?
I can jump in if that's okay,
Yeah.
Frankie. A couple things. They're not pertinent to Ford County. I'm sorry, but Vermilion County, there is a group called Vermilion Advantage, and that is really two organizations combined into one. It's the chamber, and then also the Economic Development Committee. And on December 6th, we're going to be putting together about, I think, 500 resource bags. It's one of the things we just through one of the community-wide work groups on substance use. So we're putting together 500 bags with various harm reduction and informational stuff in there to give to first responders, so that we can begin to engage first responders to understand more precisely where overdose is happening within Vermilion County, and then also so that we can engage people who are using drugs, so that we can give these resource bags as well to them. So some of these bags we basically are having two sets, one for first responders and one for people who are currently using. And then, we're a little constrained, just like you said, you can't give out food and stuff like that through the grant. There's things that we can't do. And so that's why using Vermilion Advantage and them reaching out to their business partners throughout the county, they can donate things that we cannot. And so our hope, our goal is to have people from our work group be shoulder to shoulder with other people in the community assembling the bag, so that way we can have conversations about, substance use disorder and stigma. So it's kind of like a more natural way, if you will, to have a conversation rather than, hey, come to this seminar, let me, talk to you about that. So that's something that's upcoming. We're and I should have made these announcements earlier, but I didn't. I apologize. But the other is we're very close to hiring another substance use navigator, particularly for Hoopston, and then an outreach worker also in Hoopston. So our process is kind of glacier-esque. It moves very slowly. So that's where we're at with that. And then lastly, we will most likely in April have a harm reduction mobile unit operational for Vermilion. And that's part of this healthcare transformations grant that Carl Health received for Vermilion County. They do a bunch of other kinds of things, but at least that was part of what we were able to have written into the grant. So we're excited to be able to do that and go through the various communities in Vermilion County. One of the things I just said in our leadership center meeting that we had last week, I guess it was last Tuesday, is that, we sometimes we talk about all the different committees and things that we're doing. And, I just tried to say, our primary purpose is to prevent fatal overdose. That's our primary purpose, at least with the SOAR 2 grant. I'm not saying that's the primary purpose of ROSCs, but but sometimes, it's like, I forget that that's really what we're doing. In Vermilion County, just so you know, in 21 and 22, they had, I believe, 25 fatal overdoses, which is a smaller number, but from an incidence rate perspective, it's, one of the higher ones in the state, and it's the highest it's ever been. And 2023 is higher than that. It's trending to be 28. So that's why I was saying, when the sense of urgency about what we do, right? And involving people that with lived experience in our meetings. So that's really something that we're trying to focus a lot on. And then there is some discussion about a ROSC in Champaign County. And so we're hoping to be able to facilitate that. I mean, as you all know, or most of you, I mean, we try to work behind the scenes with those kinds of things and however we can support. So that's really all I have. And thanks for organizing the meeting.
Thanks, Dave. And I mean, you've been here since the beginning of ROSC and a wealth of knowledge, especially for me, who started from knowing really nothing except my lived experience, which I'm learning is huge. But that's one of our biggest goals has been and will continue to be is getting people lived experience at our table. You would think that I would know. I don't know all the answers into getting people lived experience at the table. But that's harder than it sounds like it would be, so I continue to try and work towards that. Whenever we do, I get so excited, more than if anybody else joins the ROSC as a person with lived experience. But no, Dave, you're full of information, and I appreciate you always being here.
The advantage of being old. Older, how's that? One of the things, I mean, I just think of like we participated in a Narcan distribution in Vermilion County, and people were really excited to do it. It was with one of the recovery organizations there, and it was a little bit removed from Danville. It's in Tilton, and the health department was over there from Champaign, and I think in 3 hours they had one person show up, and and they took flyers and they plastered the community, and so I just kind of sat in the background, and with our outreach worker, I asked, I said, so what'd you learn? What'd you learn from this event? Right. Because what she ended up doing, and she's a person with lived experience, she's like, we split up and we went to the dispensary down the street, and we just approached them, and they let us, because they'd already had some contacts, they let us set up there, and then they engaged 72 people, And so the lesson is you have to go where they are. And so sometimes that's what I think, like, so out of all of us on this meeting, how many of us really, have skin in the game in Ford County? I mean, that we live there, like, I don't, I live in Mahomet, so, when do I go to Gibson City? When I'm driving through it, that's how I get there, so I just think about that also, like with Champaign and these other communities, is that we have to be out in the community with those people, and those people, I mean, just in the community, and that's how we can, invite others. I mean, our outreach worker that we've hired, she drags people from meetings. I mean, she knows them from the recovery community, so that's how she gets them involved. Me, I mean, I'm not going to get somebody in Vermilion County to come. I mean, they're all providers, right? We're all providers. I mean, I think almost all of us here are providers. So, that's the thing that it is a real struggle, and I don't mean to take up so much time, but their voice, our voice, I'm a person in long-term recovery, but I mean, our voice is, is important, and, just have to figure out how I can get more people to the table.
That's awesome, Dan, or David. Oh God, Dave, sorry. Okay, it wasn't Ken at least this time, but what I wanted to ask you, you mentioned that some people went to, excuse me, the dispensary to engage with people. Can you explain that a little bit more? Did you say
completely ad hoc? Yeah. I mean, so what happened was the health department in Champaign has a grant to distribute Narcan, like for 10 counties, right? So they're a DOP, and they give out all this Narcan. We get all of our Narcan from them. The health department in Vermilion County really doesn't do harm reduction services at all. And so we just tried to be that, to be helpful. And so we connected them with a group called Step Recovery Center, somebody who now is the ROSC coordinator over there. And their ROSC is a hybrid, if you will. It's a one-off. They didn't get state funding, and so they're kind of doing their own thing, which, contributes to some of this. But so what happened was, in one of their random, like, we were dropping off Narcan, they just cold call people, is what the health department does, which has some drawbacks, I'll say that. And so, but the dispensary happened to be one that they had previously made some contacts with, and it was right down the street from where, this event was, being conducted. And so that's what they did. They're like, well, why don't we split up? And of course, Christine was like, why don't we go down there? Christine, if you've met her, is loud and proud, man. She is not embarrassed. So she went down there, and they just set up shop, and had a table, and as people came in, engaged them, and they gave out 72 boxes of of Narcan, and heard about people's some people, their recovery stories. So I mean, that's how it happened. It was completely, it was one of those ad hoc punt moments. We're like, well, what are we going to do? We've been here for 2 hours. There's been one car pull up.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So that's what happened there.
Okay, cool.
I mean, Champaign did one. They gave out 700 boxes of Narcan.
Wow.
On Overdose Awareness Day. We had a drive-through Narcan. We gave out 700 with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Dave. Is there any other, just for a couple people, Odette, Jennifer, who hopped on, I flew through the meeting today. I'm so sorry. I was talking like super fast, but we went over our just strategic plan and all of the deliverables and things. I'm going to send all those documents, or a link to all those documents, with the meeting minutes. And then also I talked about a December to Remember event. I'll send it some information along like that too. Basically, we're doing for 20 families, we're doing we had a professional That's okay, Jennifer. But we have a professional photographer donating her time. We're having events, and we also want to have resources, information at this event. So if there's any information or resources that you want to have there, please send them along to me, and I will make sure. This event is December 14th, 5:30 to 7:30. We just want to be able to provide local resources to these families if we can. And again, all this will be sent along to you guys. Are there, and at this time now, we're just asking any events, updates, announcements that you have that you want to share with the large group.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Abby. I think I know most of you, but I work for the Butterfly Project. Excuse my appearance. I'm about to stand in the cold for 2 hours for our Stuff the Bus event. But I just wanted to share that we do have a therapist opening in our program. So if you know anyone who has a master's degree, they can be licensed or unlicensed, but someone who has passion to work with children and families exposed to domestic violence, we do have an opening for a therapist, and they would cover all 5 of our counties, which is Logan, Ford, Woodford, Livingston, and McLean County. We go to our families' homes. So we do have that opening available. And then, like I said, we do counseling and case management for children and families exposed to domestic violence. We do have a little bit of a wait list right now, which is kind of a good thing because that means that our services are needed, but also not a great thing because we want to get everyone through the door. So we're working really hard to get everyone through. But we just really appreciate everyone's commitment to sharing our resources. I know that we get a lot of referrals from all of our community resources in Ford County, and we really appreciate that. So we love partnering with you and just appreciate being on all these meetings. Like Frankie said, she's going to be speaking at our next coalition meeting, which we're really excited about. Frankie, you always just have so much great information to share. And so that will be our last meeting of the year. And then our next one will be in February, and it will be our all county meeting. So we'll host it virtually. And I think I'm spilling some beans, so I hope it actually happens. But we're hoping to show a film that we had the opportunity to view from a conference that we went to in San Diego, and it's a film on domestic violence, but not so much the physical side, the side where you don't see it, like the verbal, the emotional, and things like that. And so it's a really awesome film, and we're hoping to show that to everyone and do like a little bit of a discussion. So if you're not familiar with our coalitions, they're just a really awesome space to get together and collaborate, learn more about resources so that we can continue to make referrals to each other and just support each other in the community. So we would love to have you there. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for the time to share.
Thank you, Abby. Anybody else with any updates or announcements?
Yeah, good morning, Frankie. Good morning, everyone. I tried to get on earlier, but where I was, the internet was not good, so I couldn't get through, but I'm in the office now. The LIHEAP program, starting December 1st, which is in a couple of days, will take any application. It doesn't matter if they're elderly, disabled. This year the state of Illinois put in priority points or priority groups to be served first. Now, this is anybody, don't have to be disconnected. And you just have to be income eligible. Even if they're on a payment plan, we can help with that. Where there is a certain dollar amount that is placed. If they're income eligible for LIHEAP services, a certain amount is just placed on the account. And I wanted to kind of make some clarifications, because at our office, in the Paxton office, which is on right there on the corner of Ottawa Road across from True Value, I think it is. I haven't seen True Value in years, but I knew there was always one in Paxton. But We call that here community action, rainy day supplies. A lot of our customers may receive SNAP benefits, or we used to call it food stamps. But these bags that we distribute at the Ford County office, it's $80 worth of supplies. It's toilet paper. It's Tide Pods. We buy things that we would buy for our own home, okay? It's not a generic product. And we have customers say, no, I'm fine. And I don't understand. So we need to get the word out. This is not a handout just because we're trying to spend money. We do surveys with families. And one of the issues that they mention in the survey, what causes more of your hardships? It is the unexpected bills, the flat tire, the plumbing issue, or that medication that you had to buy that you didn't know that you needed to buy, or something came up and you had to rob from Peter to pay Paul. So we put these goodie bags together that has Tide, toilet paper. If there's a child within the home and we have the right size diaper there at the center, we put the diapers in there. We put the wipes, we put the body wash, and we buy products that we know we would want to use personally in our bodies. I think we even have lotion in there. And we have had families turn it down until we talk to them and tell them, this is rainy day. This is $80 you don't have to spend, that you put aside and you begin to build on. Put $10 next month, put $5 next month. And before you know it, probably by the end of the year, you have money for the unexpected flat tire, or the oil change, or the windshield wiper, or whatever you need. So community action, we're really trying to communicate, because we're having problems, believe it or not, distributing these bags in Ford County. I can't believe it. And I was talking to Tim, because Tim also had difficulty getting on. So I called Tim. I said, Tim, I'm trying to get on, but I think I got Wi-Fi issues. Tim was talking because we also have, we wrote grants and we got donations, and this is specifically for food, okay? And we just don't want to get Christmas stuff. We want to get food, healthy foods, and we're going to put recipes and things of that sort, because we hear that sometimes if they get a kiwi, or if they get some of the product, they throw it in the garbage because they don't know. And this might be the thing that your body needs, the fiber, the roughage, whatever you need to keep your body healthy. So we just want the committee, the group, to know at the Ford County Health Department, at the Ford County Community Action Office, we do have goodie bags. They have to be income eligible because it's grant dollars. We have it's really earmarked for that income eligible family. And our goal is provide for the rainy day. The surveys that we have, Frankie, they say these are the things that throw me off. And believe me, I know it. I found out from all the traveling that I was doing, I had 3 nails in one tire. And on my truck, it was so expensive to replace the tires. Where the nails were, I had to get tires, new tires. It's a lot of money. So now we're going to aim to do a few food baskets. And if there's a family that you know that is building on, preparing for rainy day, or if there's someone that could talk to them about these products being rainy day money that we want you to put aside, give the Ford County office a call, and, we'll try to distribute, and it'll be good if we know upfront if diapers needed. It even have dishwashing liquid, and it's good dishwashing liquid. I believe the staff purchased Dawn, or there's another one that they purchased, Gain, that's really good, items. And the idea is that you use less, it lasts longer, that's my spiel.
No, thank you.
Sorry,
You guys
y'all.
always have so many resources for Ford County, and it's amazing. If there's any like information that I like about this, even that I can share at any event that we have, even like the December event that we're gonna have, I'll bring it out and I'll try to explain it as you did.
Okay.
I'll try my
Okay.
best. But if you have any information that I can have there for these families, then that would be awesome. So
Okay, I'll
any
find
way
out
that
how
we
many
can help.
bags we have. But they have to be income eligible.
Right.
That's the issue. So what we do the LIHEAP application, and the LIHEAP application gives us automatic information that we can collect, and our funders will know, yeah, we distributed these rainy day bags
Yeah.
to income eligible family. That's the only drawback that we have. I wish we could just pass it out to anybody, but the food items, that grant is different, but we still have a responsibility when we wrote and we said we're going to help income eligible families, because this is a part of rainy day. We want to have, save your money so you can put it in your gas tank, so you can go look for the job, or, just something to be able to help as much as possible.
Yeah. And then any information, like if there's flyers or anything about LIHEAP and stuff like that, just any
Okay.
and all resources that I can provide, because we are hoping that this event, like I said, there's only 20 families, and we're specifically reaching out to churches, food pantry, social worker at the school, just to try to make sure that families that usually couldn't afford, especially during the holidays, food is expensive, gifts, whatever.
Okay.
Family photos usually it just doesn't happen. So this is what we're kind of hoping to do, is provide for the lower income families to be able to get something special, and then also share resources at the same time at this event. So any information that I can share with them, that would be amazing.
Okay, so Frankie, I could probably do a little bit better, but I don't want to step on toes here, okay? I could probably arrange somebody's hours in the Ford County office to probably be there with you, where they can collect whatever information that they need. I know, I don't know if you guys knew, we've got Miss Helen there. And then I think you said on the 15th of December, right?
14th of December. It's a Thursday
Yeah,
evening.
I have it written down here. So we also have Sue Ricas.
Okay.
But I don't know, Sue is retired, and she came back to help us because our employee accidentally took a terrible fall and was injured. So we just needed an extra person in that office to help for a little while. So we've got Sue Ricas. I can check with Sue to see if she's available 5 to 7 that evening. And if the family's income eligible, Sue could probably help them sign up for LIHEAP.
Yeah,
Do paper apps.
that would be amazing.
We can do that, and then Sue know how to tell them, we're doing this so you could save money,
Yeah.
for the next 2 months with supplies,
Yeah.
So what I'll do, Frankie, I'll send you a text.
Okay.
I mean an email to let you know who can be there if you'd like. Otherwise, give you all the stuff. And
if you guys can be there, that would be even better. So
okay.
Yeah, but if not, then I can share as much information as you guys have as well. So
okay, hon.
Thank you. Any more questions or updates or anything? I think John said that he would love to share this information with his recovery groups that he has, or that he's involved with.
Okay, so what I will do, Frankie, I think the best thing is to send you the newsletters.
Okay.
They're not ready yet, but they will be in December 1st. We have to distribute our newsletters. Can I send it to you? You send it to everybody in the group, because the purpose of our newsletters is to let folks know this is what's available. this is what's not available. But definitely anybody that we can help with the power bills.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're being disconnected. Once again, it's the rainy day concept. You know, save because the days are coming where you'll probably need to buy a bag of salt and put on your step so you don't meet the bottom.
Yep. Yep.
of
That'd be
your
amazing. I
stairs
can definitely
outside.
pass that along to the whole group. So
Mhm.
great. Thank you, Odette.
You're
Anything
welcome.
else? Any announcements, questions, comments?
Announcements.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you all for being here. Again, our next meeting is a week early. I will send out information on that. I will not cancel that meeting ahead of the meeting. I hope to see you all there. Stay safe and warm. It's freezing outside today. And again, any questions, comments, anything, if you want to be a part of that work group, please reach out to me. I would appreciate it.